Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to BAriaTricks and Tips. I am Michelle Geeson, your hostess with the mostest. Thank you so much for joining me today. I've got quite the hoopla to show you today. Today's episode is chocolate nutty protein bars. And the really beautiful thing about my protein bar recipe is you can use it as a skeleton recipe and kind of vary the ingredients to make it all your own. It's gonna be so wonderful and I can't wait to show it to you. You know, one of the things that we have in common is that we have all had bariatric surgery or we're gearing up to have bariatric surgery. But even if that doesn't quite fit the bill, if you're striving for overall health and wellness, if you're trying to combat a diabetes diagnosis, it doesn't matter. You are in the right place because food is here to stay and so are we, and we have to learn how to coexist with it, okay? So I have dedicated my existence. I've been very empowered on my own bariatric journey that has now spanned 7 years to showing you ways to live large while you cook and eat small and always find flavor in everything that you do, literally and figuratively, because that is gonna help you from feeling deprived. And when you feel deprived of something, or if someone asks you, can you have this, or should you be eating that? It gets to be a little heated, okay? I don't want anyone telling me that I can or cannot have something. Sorry, control freak, I get it. But in this case, it's serving me for the greater good, and I want it to serve you in that respect too. So let's cut to the chase. Let's talk about my chocolate nutty protein bars. You are gonna have this recipe today at 3 o'clock. Please say hi to my camera person, Maya, my daughter. She is now a junior in high school, and she's rolling her eyes and shaking her head at me. Maya, say hiya.
Hi.
Hi. She's really not that deep, but whatever. At any rate, Maya, please tell me if anyone's chirping in, okay? Because I need to know these things. There's a lot of ingredients. Actually, there's really not a lot of ingredients. Let me count. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 ingredients in this protein bar recipe, and I have a feeling that the majority of them will be in your arsenal already, okay? Maya, why don't you come around here so we can show everyone everything. I've got my recipe on my laptop, so you'll see me referring to that a little bit, but you can kind of see this whole setup here. Maya, let's take a look at the setup. Why don't you come in and give an overview of the ingredients? Hey, Kim. Maya's never gonna say hiya, so I'll just say hi on her behalf. Thanks for being here today. All right, and then you can kind of pan in on that recipe that's on my laptop, and then, but don't show it to them too long because they'll get it to 3, and then show them this. Okay, this is the main ingredient. These are the dates. This is the sweet source, and they're actually soaking in hot water right now. So I will show you. You need a Cuisinart food processor, Ninja, blender, whatever you want. I've had this for 20,000 years. It was a wedding shower gift. So anyway, let's talk about the ingredients at a glance, okay? The first thing that you want are dates. I was just telling my daughter before we went live that dates are actually new to me. I never had any desire to try them. They looked weird to me, but let me tell you, never judge a book by its cover because dates are one of my favorite all-natural foods, and it is an amazing way to sweeten baked goods or cooking in general. I can make a paste out of it. I can make protein bites. I can make protein bars. I can make a spread. I can make preserves. There's so many things that you can do. And the really good thing about dates, let me show you. I get them at Sam's Club. This is a 2-pound container. You can, Maya, come on over and show everyone my dates. Best dates I've had in a long time. At any rate, I buy them 2 packages at a time. They're 2 pounds each. They're like $6 or $7. But the good thing about dates is they are considered a low glycemic index food, which is really interesting considering how sweet they are. Basically, they are a slow release sugar source. So even though because of their natural sugar, they are a source of sugar and carbs, because of that, they release slowly. So for someone who's diabetic or you're not going to get into any kind of like sugar shock scenario, okay? And just to give you an idea, 33 grams of carbs and 30 grams of sugar, yeah, kind of on the high side, but in the grand scheme of things, inside a recipe where the serving size is 1/16, you're looking at a really, really good carb source and sugar source that's going to give you sustained energy. And that is why I use it now, even as opposed to artificial sugar, to flavor my baked goods and sweeten my baked goods, okay? So this is the first ingredient. We need 12 dates. We need them seeded. They're super easy to seed. Why don't you come in, Maya, and I'll show you. So just pan in, just don't look at me, look at the date. You can see this little piece that you can take out and just discard. But the really cool thing about the dates is they pull apart really easily, and it's super easy to take the seed out. All right, so I will put that there. And then what you have left is, 2 halves of a date that looks like a heart because they're so delicious and I love them so much. All right, so I will eat that later. 12 dates, pitted and soaked in hot water so that they're easier to deal with when you're throwing them into the food processor, okay? And I think what I'll do is I will give you each ingredient and then we'll put them into the Cuisinart. So here are my dates. I am going to drain the water out of them. All right, these have been soaking for about 10 minutes. Take a look. They are going in. Yeah, I know, Maya, they don't look very wonderful, but they are absolutely delicious. All right, the next ingredient we need is a 1/4 cup of slivered almonds. Now here's the beauty of this recipe. The recipe that you're gonna get at 3 o'clock has 2 1/4 cup of nuts. It can be any nuts. Don't laugh at the word nuts, Maya. Are you kidding me? How old are you? She's cracking up, you guys. They're nuts. Maya, focus. You didn't think you would get comic relief on this show, did you? So the nuts that I have chosen, yes, I said nuts, are walnuts and slivered almonds, 2 of my favorites. I've tried this before with hazelnuts. I've tried it with pistachios before. The nutrition values that I'm going to give you today are based on these 2 bad boys, almonds and walnuts, okay? So in they go. All right. What is that sound? Is that the washing machine? That must be the washing machine. All right. The next thing that we need is we need something to bind it all together. So I've chosen coconut oil. Now, if you don't like coconut oil, that's fine. But the main thing you want to drive home here is you need an oil that is solid at room temperature. Coconut oil comes in refined and unrefined. And the reason why I use unrefined is that it's got more of a coconutty taste to it. And so here's my unrefined coconut oil. This is like a lifetime supply. This is a tablespoon right here. So what I did was I took a tablespoon out of here and then I threw it in this microwave Pyrex measuring cup and threw it in the microwave for 30 seconds to melt it out. Okay, so that's gonna go in. This is going to bind everything together and keep the integrity of our protein bar, especially because at room temperature, it'll eventually go back from liquid to solid form and keep everything together. So in you go, coconut oil. All right, next ingredient, 3 scoops of chocolate protein powder. My 3 scoops actually equaled a cup. So I use Gold Standard is the brand name that I use. You can look that up on Amazon. And this is what the scoop is. I actually am very OCD and I wrote the Gold Standard scoop. So I know that when I'm scooping that particular protein powder, whether it's the chocolate and the vanilla, I know exactly what I'm getting. So 3 of these equaled the cup that you see here. So I'm gonna throw that in and I'll put this back. All right, the next thing that we need, 5 scoops of a lower calorie unflavored protein powder. You paying attention, Maya? Mm-hmm. Okay. This is actually, when I measure it out, it's a little less than a cup. I am choosing to use this brand as Nectar. I get this at the BAriatric clinic to which I'm affiliated. And their scoops are a lot less. Let me demonstrate. This is a 11-gram scoop. So look at the difference between the gold standard and the Nectar. You can totally see, okay? And the reason why I chose a lower calorie unflavored is that it's got less calories and more bang for your buck that way, because I'm trying to maintain calories and up the protein content. So 5 scoops of this unflavored protein powder is right here. It's a little less than a cup. It's going on in, okay? You can use Gene Pro, you can use whatever floats your boat. Just note that just like not all protein bars are alike, not all protein powder is alike, and not all protein scoops are alike, okay? So you really just need to make sure that you're aware of what you're using. The next thing I wanted to do when I was trying to up the flavor and the protein content of my protein bar was I decided I'm gonna use PB Fit, which is a peanut butter powder. My gosh, a lot of P's there. Okay, there's a couple different kinds. There's lots of different brands. The brand that I like is PB Fit, and I can get this locally at my Meijer, or I can get it on Amazon. I think you can get it at Costco and Sam's Club too. You can see the difference. One is the original protein or peanut butter flavor, and then one is the chocolate flavor, and I'm actually using the chocolate flavor today. So I am going to use 4 tablespoons of the PB Fit, which is right here. I've got it all measured out. The serving size is actually 2 tablespoons, so this is essentially 2 servings, and that's going on in there too. All right, and then, wait, there's more. Lots of powdered stuff going into this. Has anyone asked any questions yet? Do we need to address anything? All right. Then we've got a 1/4 cup of cocoa, and we're just talking the unsweetened cocoa. This is the Meijer brand, our local grocery store. You can use Hershey, Ghirardelli, whatever you want. This just happens to be what I'm trying to get rid of. All right, so I got a 1/4 cup of that going in there. Whoops, hold on. Get every last bit out of there. Then we need 1 tablespoon of vanilla extract. That's right here. That's going on in. And then I think this is it. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. This is gonna give it like a salty sweet flavor. Oh my gosh, it is so stinking good. Okay. So we've got all the ingredients in there. Before I pulverize it, I wanted to talk about this card. Okay, Maya, why don't you come over here real quick and focus on my laptop. See if you can just stay so everybody can see the grid, okay? I was at the grocery store today and I did a lot of research because I was trying to figure out where my protein bar ranked with all other favorite brands. And I was really surprised because when I was originally trying, will you go in a little bit more? Just on the grid, not on the words. You're gonna get this grid today at 7 p.m. So don't even worry. It will be here for you. But I was really worried because my protein bar, the way that I just showed you how to make it, was only 9.4 grams of protein. But if you look, whoops, sorry, that was my dishwasher telling me that it's done. But if you look at mine is only 125 calories, 3.5 grams of fat, 12.8 grams of sugar, 9.4 grams of protein, 16.4 grams of carbs, and the serving size is 30 grams. Look how all of that measures up with everything else that you see. You've got the Gatorade brand, the Larabar brand, the Pure Protein brand, the PB Fit Crunch brand, and then of course the BariaTricks brand, which is mine that I'm showing you today. In the grand scheme of things, not to be used as a meal replacement bar, but as a way to not eat your hand off during an excruciating time like driving home, preparing dinner, just getting from point A to point B. This is a really sound, stellar protein bar. And this is where you have to start really doing your research and comparing apples to apples, because protein bars, protein powder, and serving size, they're not all created equal. Some of the biggest brands that you see here actually offer large quantities of protein, but they're laden with extra calories, with fat, carbs, and sugar, and not just refined sugar, but unhealthy sweeteners like high fructose corn syrup and sucralose, things that can increase a person's risk of fatty liver disease, diabetes when consumed in high amounts, and just kind of aid in stalling your weight loss. And so I'm totally not here to judge. I'm totally here to show you what's working for me and giving you these guidelines so that you could tweak it to fit your needs. Now, if you have any suggestions on things that will fit your own journey, that's where you need to talk to your surgeon, your doctor, your dietitian / nutritionist. All those guys are there. You pay them good money to help you on that. I just wanted to make sure that you compared apples to apples, and you'll get this slide later today. Okay, so now back to the show. That, I hope, feeds your soul with really good information in making decisions about whether or not you want to continue to buy your favorite protein bars or kind of experiment and make your own. Now, I can get as intricate with these protein bars as I want, and I can put a lot of ingredients that I know I keep in my arsenal, but you may not necessarily keep in yours. And the whole idea here is to be carb, calorie, fat, protein conscious, but also checkbook conscious. I don't want to break the bank by making these protein bars, and I don't want you to do that either. So now let's go back to the Cuisinart. We've got all of our ingredients here. I am going to put the lid on, and this is where you're going to see the magic happen, okay? It's going to get a little bit loud. I'm going to start pulsing. And really, I'm chopping the nuts, and I'm making sure everything is incorporated. And then I'm going to let it go. Hard to hear, but you can kind of see everything going round and around, and it's getting to the point where it's starting to thicken up. You can modify this and add some chia seeds. You can add different kinds of nuts, like I told you. You can add some drizzle or some chocolate chips or peanut chips to it. Whatever you want, you can do. All right, I can see that it's starting to get a little bit more thickened, because if you come over here, Maya, and you kind of focus over here, you can kind of see how everything's really coming together. All right, and now you can see that if I touch it, ooh, it's kind of warm, but that's okay. Look at, I can mold it. You can actually make these into protein balls too. So that's that coconut oil at work, helping to keep things pretty solid. Okay, so now what we need to do is, you can prepare this in a lot of different ways. Why don't you come over here, Miss Maya? Thank you. I like to use, the easiest thing to use is like an 8x8 baker. I tried to use a 9x13 and it just got too thin. I like to have a thick bar, something that I can really sink my teeth into. It really aids in that whole textural decadence type of thing. I don't want to feel deprived of anything. This is one of the most delicious protein bars I have ever had. Okay, so do me a favor, Maya, if you will, focus on the contents of there real quick, and let me just throw this last part in the microwave just to get us going, okay? All right, I should have done that earlier. Okay, so now, and cue the dog. All right, so even though I'm gonna use parchment paper is gonna make it very easy for me to lift the protein bars out of the pan when they're done chilling out in the refrigerator. So I just like to spray, because this is only gonna cover one side of it, I like to lightly spray just the ends, the sides, okay? It's more for glue purposes at this point than anything, okay? So mush it in, get everything to where it's pretty stellar. And then let's get, I'm gonna take the blade out of here real quick. And now I'm gonna pour all this concoction in, and if it's worth scraping, scrape it, because you want to get every last bit, okay? So that is the pièce de résistance in there. This is gonna have to soak, big surprise. All right, so now what I like to do, since I'm gonna mold this with my hands to start, I'm gonna take the cooking spray and I'm actually gonna spray my hands. And yes, my hands are clean. I'm gonna be the only one probably eating these anyways. So Maya, come from up top here so you can watch me do this. I wanna mush everything down and get it to a point where it's at least pretty uniform. It feels pretty good. It's not too dry and it's not too moist, because you want something that's going to be able to sit out at room temperature and not go bad or not fall to pieces. And so once you have like all the nooks and crannies filled in, then you can start evening things out. But this is a really good guide. Let me check the microwave real quick. Hold on. We're making progress. All right. So then what I also like to do is I'll spray the back of my measuring cup and then just use my measuring cup to mash everything down, so you kind of get it to where it's like the most consistent thickness. Hopefully that makes sense. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to say so. We're almost at the tail end of this fun and delicious exercise. I cannot wait. I'm gonna be bringing these to work. The folks at work have at least enjoyed the fruit of my labors, because they get to try lots of new things, okay? You can go a step further and you can kind of mush the sides down. I like total uniformity. That's my OCD talking, okay? So there, it's pretty level, it's pretty even. And now what I want to do is, hold on, let me go in here real quick. Wrong door. Okay. So the other thing that I did, and what I've had in the microwave, whoops, I think I might have had it in for too long, because I can kind of smell it, but oh well, we're good. So I've got these peanut butter chips. Yeah, I put it in for a little too long. Hold on, you guys. Keep looking over here, Maya. I am going to add a little, forgot to put the coconut oil in. So I took some peanut butter chips, just standard peanut butter chips, not anything sugar-free. There's a reason why I did that. I want to give myself a little bit of decadence. I think that it's warranted, and I don't see anything wrong with wanting to drizzle a tiny amount of peanut butter chips onto these protein bars. So in the grand scheme of things, the amount that's making it onto these protein bars is so minuscule that it's really not going to affect much. But there we go. I added a tiny bit of coconut oil to this concoction, and you can come over here, Maya, so you can you can see what I'm doing. I added a little bit of coconut oil because when it cools, it will solidify, and then it won't be like a sticky mess on top of the protein bars, okay? So I have this little contraption. You can use whatever you want. It's a little hot, so let me do this. Okay, Maya, come over here because I don't want to do it over the floor. So I'm going to pour this in. It's kind of like, almost like a eyedropper, so to speak, but it's got a plunger and it's a really great drizzling tool. And it's probably not going to work because I'm on TV and it's too clumpy. Well, Michelle, fun times on BariaTricks and tips. All right, so you can drizzle it. You can drizzle it any which way you want. You could even put some chips on top of it, just something for decoration. If you wanted to, you could put some sugar-free chocolate chips. You could put a combination, not a lot, just enough to make it look nice and fancy. And then you're gonna stick these into the refrigerator and let them cool. So let me go ahead and put them in the fridge, if I can find room. I cleaned, but you would never know it. And I'm glad that you're not focusing on this fridge, Maya, because people would be like, are you kidding me? All right, so now you wanna see it? I will show you because I have some made. This is the peanut drizzle. Take a look, focus. This is where you can ooh and ah. This is peanut butter chips used in my little contraption where I just like squirt it all on. It was less than an ounce over the course of 16 servings. And again, we're talking 125 calories per bar, 3.5 grams of fat, 12.8 grams of sugar, 9.4 grams of protein, and 16.4 grams of carbs. This is a very filling protein bar, and I know that you are going to enjoy it. Okay, variations, you can put pepitas on these. That is pumpkin seeds. You can put some more chopped nuts on there, peanuts if you like peanuts. Like I said, you can add some chia seeds. Those help thicken the batch too. Oh, Melissa, if you knew how delicious they were. I wish you lived closer so we could just sit here and eat after the show, okay? But these are the most wonderful protein bars. I'm super excited about them. They're fudgy. You can taste the peanut butter. You can taste a really nice hint of salt with the sweetness of the dates. And I'm pretty stoked. I've got snacks now for work. I'm really glad. This is the part where there's really weird silence because I'm eating on camera. Are you laughing at me? Anyways, please note that BariaTricks and Tips is on all social media: Facebook, Snapchat, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. Lots of fun, short videos of my everyday food preparation on TikTok. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And please note, there's another Facebook page. We've got BariaTricks and Tips, the page, which is here, and we've got BariaTricks and Tips, the group, which is a public group where we can bounce ideas off each other, talk about the things that worry us, the things that empower us, all during our bariatric journey. So please make sure you refer all your friends and family. We are here to help. There is not going to be a Facebook Live recipe demonstration next week in honor of Father's Day. So yeah, Maya, it's Father's Day. You better get cooking on that gift for Dad. So thank you so much for taking time today. Have yourself a great rest of the day. It's so gorgeous here in West Michigan. I'm going to go take the dog for a walk, okay? Talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.